Alright, welcome to Illuminate. Today we're going to be going into a look into the Bible and what this work is. It is an instruction literature for Christians, but what is it made out of? So there are 66 total smaller books in the Bible, all by a different collection of authors who have had their writings inspired by God. It is composed, when we're looking for a verse in the Bible, it's organized from from book to chapter to verse. And so if we were going to look up the verse Joshua 1:8, first thing you would do if you didn't know Joshua was in the beginning, you turn to your table of contents and then turn to the chapter of Joshua. The big numbers are going to be your chapter numbers, the smaller numbers are your verse numbers. So we go to Joshua, it's in chapter 1, verse 8. So big 1, find the small 8, and it says, "Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful." So that's how you find a verse in the Bible, going from book to chapter to verse.
And so, what is the Bible? It is a collection of different books from different time periods. So we have the New and the Old Testament. The Old Testament is the beginning, and the New is the last part of it. And so the Torah, which are the first 5 books of the Old Testament, are something that Moses wrote, and that was written based on the words that God spoke to Moses. And those just contain the promises that God gave us and the law that God also gave us. The Tanakh, which is the rest of the Old Testament, contains just history like Saul, King David, stuff like that, and then also major and minor prophets that prophesy about Jesus coming. Then the New Testament starts off with the Gospels, which there's 4 of them, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are different accounts of what Jesus did while he was here. Then the rest of the New Testament are letters written by Paul or John, usually the apostles other than Paul, urging churches to stay faithful to Christ. A question that's asked frequently is, how do we get the Bible? Well, in 320 AD, Constantine brought together several hundred church leaders, and they discussed which letters and books that they thought were most relevant and most important to them. And they put those all together, and that's how we got the canon Bible. But how do we know it's accurate?
The accuracy of the Bible can really be determined by some other things that we've digged up, such as the Dead Sea Scrolls and other archaeological evidence that corroborates what the Bible says. So that's how we know the Bible is true. And we've covered how to find a verse, the composition of the Bible, different books, and different sections of books in the Bible. And that's a brief overview into what the Bible is. Thank you.